After reading 50 business books in 2022, I walked away with an amazing amount of business knowledge. I read books about marketing, finance, networking, habit forming, time management, motivation, customer service, people management, and more. But when I think back to the advice that I keep sharing time and time again with my consulting clients, there are 5 key lessons that really stood out as essential for small business owners. So here are my top 5 tips for small business owners from my 2022 business book reading. Tip number 1, go find your customers. So you have a website and you post a couple of times a week to social media. Good enough, right? Unfortunately, not even close. The reality is you can't put a few things on the internet, a place with billions and billions of activities happening at any given moment, and hope people are going to find you in that storm. You need to intentionally go out and find your customers to make your business grow. Now, online, you might join a Facebook group filled with your target market and really start engaging with them. Or perhaps you have a B2B business and LinkedIn is the best place to make connections. Maybe it's Reddit, Clubhouse, or Twitch. Maybe that's where your community spends time online. Wherever they are, go find them and start engaging directly. And though it may take more work, do not overlook the importance of in-person outreach. The right pop-up events can be a great way to meet customers and get the word out. Or ask for introductions from your network and go have coffee with people. Maybe you offer yourself as a speaker at an event where you're likely to find your target market. Or go big and host your own event for your target market and then make sure you meet as many people as possible. Whatever you do, go find your customers. Don't wait for them to find you. Tip number 2, have a small target market. The instinct to create marketing that appeals to as many people as possible seems to make perfect sense. Why limit yourself to one small group for marketing? That will only limit your sales. So goes some very common but very faulty logic. The reality is that trying to market to everyone means you won't interest anyone. Remember that you have competitors, lots of competitors. Even if no one else is doing exactly what you're doing, people have lots of ways to spend their money. And you have to convince them that they should spend their money with you. You do not have the brand recognition of Coke, you don't have the budget of McDonald's, and you're not ubiquitous like Amazon. You're a small business, and you have to sway people to choose you over every other way they might be spending their money. You have to grab people's attention, because almost no one has ever heard of you. Then you have to keep their attention and build a connection. You can't do this with generic marketing. Your marketing needs to be focused on a very specific group of people. Things like age, gender, and income are good starting points, but really key in on how your small target market sees itself in the world. What do they believe? What do they value? Where do they see their future? The language you use, the messages you share, and the images you choose need to be focused on those specific people. If some of what you put out in the world turns some people off, that's a good sign. Controversial is better than boring. Taking a stand will mean that you'll speak to some people deeply and make a real connection. Boring just means everyone will ignore you. Tip number 3, profit matters more than revenue. If social media and YouTube are your only sources of business education, then you're probably under the impression that revenue is all that matters in a business, because that's all anyone talks about. I had 6 figures in sales last year. I bring in $30,000 every month, and you can too. Entrepreneurs are constantly hyping their revenue, but you never hear anyone talking about their profit. And that's because profit numbers rarely sound as impressive. But if you're like many small business owners and pay yourself with the profits of your business, your bottom line should be your top priority, regardless of what you're hearing on social media. For example, imagine you run a business that had $200,000 in annual sales, but $160,000 in expenses. Now compare that to a business that brings in $80,000 in sales with $40,000 in expenses. Guess what? At the end of the day, the profit for both of those businesses is $40,000. Yes, one has much bigger revenue numbers, but the take home for both companies is the same. If you aren't tracking your expenses, then you only have half the story about your financial success. If you're hoping to earn more money for yourself, remember that expenses have just as much impact on your bottom line as revenue, and they cannot be overlooked. Tip number 4, systems bring freedom. Business systems are the key to creating more freedom in your business, and they aren't as complicated as you might think. A checklist to confirm that the customer bathroom has been correctly cleaned is a system. A video on how to create the perfect candle is a system. Systems are just step-by-step explanations on how to do repetitive jobs. By having systems clearly mapped out, you ensure that you and your employees create the same quality work time and time again. Training hours are reduced, and mistakes happen less frequently, all of this saving you time. Now, you might be saying to yourself, that all sounds great, but operating from a bunch of checklists doesn't seem very freeing. Admittedly, if you were only doing system-based work, you wouldn't feel very free. But systems are designed to speed up the repetitive part of your work, so you have more time for problem solving and creativity. Your system on how to edit and schedule your social media posts will free up time for you to focus on designing, filming, and writing. Your standardized welcome email for a new client, that will create more time to have a personal check-in with them to see how you can better serve them. Repetitive work is an inevitable part of running a business. Make that work as painless and efficient as possible with well-documented systems. Tip number 5, your network matters a lot. Running a business with no outside support is like trying to run a 100-meter dash hopping on one foot. It's possible, but it's going to be really slow and you'll go through a lot of unnecessary misery. You need to have a strong network behind you to win the race. First and foremost, your network can be your cheerleaders and word-of-mouth advocates. Even if people in your current network aren't likely to be your customers, they may know someone who would be the right fit and can give you a referral. Or they might know someone who can get you into the right trade show, get you a guest spot on a podcast, or connect you with a wonderful mentor. Talk to your network about your business. You never know what they can do for you. Your network is also essential for strategic partnerships. If you don't already know people who run businesses with similar target markets, you should make it a priority to meet them. Whether you partner to offer a product or service bundle, agree to be featured in one another's blog posts, or do some co-posting on social media, strategic partnerships are a great way to accelerate your business visibility. And last but not least, your network is key because, well, let's be honest, sometimes things won't go well in your business. Having other entrepreneurs in your life that you can lean on for support and understanding is essential. They will give you advice on how they overcame similar problems, and they will help you get back up and keep on fighting. So to summarize my top 5 lessons, number 1, go find your customers and talk directly to them. Don't wait for them to discover you. 2, have a small target market and speak directly to their hopes, wishes, wants, and opinions. 3, profit matters much more than revenue, and expenses matter just as much as revenue when considering your profit. 4, documenting systems for your repetitive tasks will give you more time for problem solving and creativity. And last, your network is essential for referrals, strategic partnerships, and support when times are tough. Those are my top 5 lessons from business books. If you have some that you think I should have shared, I would love to hear about them. Put them in our comments or come visit me at Climb the Small Business Book Club. I'd love to meet you. Hey, small business owners, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you'd like to join the discussion, visit us at Climb the Small Business Book Club. The link is in the description, and we'd love to meet you.